Hello, my name is Mark Biddle and I'm a consultant with the Small Business Development Center of the Pikes Peak region. Today we're going to talk about business plan in an hour. This is going to sound like it's going to go really quick, but this is a great snapshot for you to consider as you continue to grow, stabilize, and transition your business to others. What we're going to cover today is 7 sections of a business strategic plan template. All of these templates will have questions for you to answer. You can rewatch the video and go through those questions, but only after you watch it the first time, you'll be able to pause it on each slide. So section 1, we're going to talk about what is a strategic plan and show you the template for it. We're going to talk about a marketing and sales plan template, customer care program or customer service template, financial and profitability plan, human resources plan, personal development, which many of us business owners forget to take care of ourselves, and an ethical standards development. As this course goes through, it is going to have these 7 sections, but they are laid out in the order that they are laid out, because first you have to have a strategic plan or a business plan. Then you need to start marketing in order to develop sales and close deals. Once you're closing deals and have customers, you need to develop your customer service plan to retain them. And once you're making money, understand your financial statements and what profitability and margins you're actually putting together. Human resources, as you grow your business and add additional employees or independent contractors, you need to have processes and procedures in place. Your personal development plan, I think this is one of the most important because even I forget to take care of myself in running my businesses. And then the last section that I added a few years ago was an ethical standards development. As we grow and as we understand our businesses more, many of us may start to cut corners, and those corners can cost you a lot of money down the road. So let's get started. Section 1, the strategic planning template. Pre-planning questions to consider, whether you're going through this course by yourself as the business owner or whether or not you want to engage your team. These are questions that you need to think about. Who is this plan for? Is it for financing or a banker or lender? Is it for you and your staff so that you can get on the same page and communicate the same messages? Or is it just for you to understand your business better and where the resources are that you can go to get? What roles and responsibilities should be defined prior to the planning session? If it's just you, that's it. You're the secretary, you're the learner, you're the listener, and you're the executor. Who's going to facilitate the strategic planning process? Well, that's me through the Pikes Peak Small Business Development Center. And how much time should be allowed for the completion of this plan? Every business is different depending on how deep you want to get into your business, but it could take 2 to 4 hours, it could take 4 to 8 hours, it could take 8 to 12 hours. Again, if you need assistance, reach out to the Pikes Peak Small Business Development Center because we are here to help you all year long, and we are here to help you for the long term. We want to see your business succeed. What resources should be available to support the planning process? I'm going to share with you the Pikes Peak Library District. I'm going to share with you a database that you have access through by contacting the Pikes Peak SBDC and IBIS World Report. Where's the session going to take place? Right now, it's right here. So who will be responsible to be the scribe, crafting the content and populating the template? Well, that's going to be you or someone on your team. Who should review the draft and draft revision? I always tell people you need to surround yourself with strategic partners. Strategic partners are those that are going to work alongside you in your business to look for the best interest for you and offer you that objective perspective. It could be a lender, it could be your employees or your spouse, sometimes even your friends. Just know you have the vision, they don't, and the purpose of this plan is to share that vision with them. How often will you review the progress of your plan? Sometimes it's quarterly, sometimes it's semi-annually, but never should it be more than every single year. Who is responsible for measuring the progress? Well, first, we have to define what progress looks like. And progress is all about who you are, what you do, what you want to achieve, how you help others, and why you do what you do. I was speaking with a client yesterday, And I asked them, how much do you want to make per year? And their response was, our goal isn't revenue. We aren't all about the money. We're about helping others. Well, that's great. I just reversed the order and said, what's that number? Divided out the average that they charge per product or service to come up with how many units do they have to develop each year, and then break that down to each day, each week, each month, and come up with a cumulative annual production. So let's get into the strategic planning questions to discuss. Your values. Why is it that you are in business? Do you understand your values? Are you passionate, resourceful, optimistic, unique, and determined? Are you ethical? Do you have integrity? All of these values are something that you're going to build your plan on. So why is it that you are in business? There's a great video out there on YouTube, Simon Sinek, and it's called The Golden Circle. It's an 18-minute long presentation, but it changes the paradigm of how most businesses market and how they tell themselves about themselves. So instead of telling people what you do, tell them why you do it. What core values should be incorporated into all areas of your business? Write down as many values as you can think of that are near and dear to your heart. This is where you want to align yourself, your employees, your contractors, your strategic partners, and maybe even your customers, clients, patients, members, depending on what type of business you're in. But it's always nice for them to know why and what those values are at the core of everything that you do in business. Once you've compiled a significant list of values, take the time to narrow the list down and list or check off the top 5. Many times what clients have found is that they can combine some of those values and come up with a different name. So honesty and integrity could be compassion or compassionate, but narrow it down to 5 so that you can focus and achieve accomplishing getting that message across for those values. A mantra. Who are you? In 5 words or less, describe what business you are in. I used to own a mortgage company back in Iowa 12 years ago, and the name of the company was Mortgage Innovations. My mantra, or my tagline, as some people might call it, was tailored mortgages with personal service. It got the point across to customers that I wrote mortgages and it was tailored to their needs, and they got personal service along with all of it. The third step of the strategic plan is to come up with your vision statement. Vision statement and mission statement oftentimes get confused or flipped. For the purposes of this presentation, the vision is what does your business look like 3 to 5 years out? Your mission statement is going to be what are you going to do in the next 1 year to get 1/3 of the way to accomplish your vision. Your vision should be something like we plan to be, or our goal is to become the best company offering the products and services that we offer in the most productive and efficient way, and we want our clients to be raving fans. The mission statement would be, how do you get there? So take it into 1/3, explain what will be accomplished within that time frame. If you need help, go out and Google several examples. The 5th step of the strategic planning process is to identify your SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is a very recognized term in the business world, in the military, in many organizations, and it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is your opportunity to hold up the mirror, look at yourself, and say, what are the strengths of myself, my team, and my organization or business? You're going to do the same thing with your weaknesses. And this is going to be tough, but what are your weaknesses? What shouldn't you be doing and what should you be trying to fill or find a strategic partner to help you accomplish? What opportunities exist in your business and with yourself? And lastly, but not leastly, what are the threats of the business? Threats can include global economic, financial crises. It could be production, it could be shipping, It could be a number of different things, including regulation. How is the government going to change or affect the way that you do business? And what can you do to understand what that is? The sixth step is to come up with those critical goals. Write 6 to 12 goals that need to be accomplished to accomplish your mission statement so that you can be better prepared to reach your vision. And remember to make them SMART goals. So goals are just goals. I want to make $120,000 a year. That's okay, but you have to make it SMART. So a SMART goal is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time dated. So I want to make $120,000 a year. That's specific, measurable. How are you going to do that? I'm going to make $120,000 a year by working with 47 clients, and that seems attainable. Is it realistic? Well, that's up to you to determine, but I want to make $120,000 a year by closing 47 deals, and I want it to be done by December 31st, 2021. That becomes a SMART goal. So think about that as you develop your goals and make sure you dial it down so that it becomes more communicative and you can share that with others on how you're going to get there. That was it for strategic planning. The next step is your marketing and sales plan. This is, again, a template for you to consider. And some of these questions may seem rudimentary, but all we're trying to do is take the complicatedness that you have in your business currently today, go back to the beginning, and build from the foundation back up. We want to simplify. We want to help you to simplify how you get the results that you're going to achieve. Marketing and sales questions to discuss. Before starting your marketing and sales plan, decide whether or not your organization has clients or customers, patients or members. What's the difference between the two? It's all in semantics. And whatever you choose here, you want to make sure that you are consistent throughout your plan. So if you have clients, that might mean that you are an attorney, you're an accountant or financial advisor, you may be a business consultant, you may be offering and telling and giving advice that could hold you accountable. If you have clients, you should also look at getting insurance to cover that, whether it be errors and omissions, whether it be an attorney might have malpractice insurance. So if you have customers, customers are transactional. Customers are going to come and go. They're going to come back. They may come back more often, but customers are a transaction. Once that transaction is done, your only responsibility is either to fulfill the warranty or the requirements to sell that product or offer a return or exchange. Patients or members. Patients are going to include doctor's offices, whether it's therapy, medical, or dental, or veterinarian. That's, again, you need to make sure that you have malpractice insurance in those situations and businesses as well. Members are going to be for the nonprofits and for the business associations. I've belonged to many associations in my day, and I've been proud to be a member. That's something else that you would communicate to your customers. So decide which you call your customers, clients, patients, or members, and write down what it is that you're going to do. We will treat our customers within our organization as blank. Step 1, clearly define the products and services that your organization provides. This is a tricky one. Many business owners will tell people what it is that they do without telling them what it is that they sell. I'll give you another example, and this will come from my mortgage company again. I used to go out to networking events, and I owned a mortgage brokerage, and I wrote mortgage loans. So the answer that I should put here is mortgage loans. What I would tell people at networking events is, my name's Mark Biddle, I own Mortgage Innovations. I help people purchase, refinance, consolidate debt, and build their dream home. Well, it didn't have mortgage in there at all. And for those that are looking to purchase or refinance or consolidate debt and use the equity in their property, they know that they need to go get a mortgage. So don't overcomplicate when you talk about what it is that you sell. Who is your target market? Your target market is broken down into 4 sections. Geography. How close and where are they located? Demographics. What is their age, sex, familial status, ethnicity? Everything that describes them as a person. Psychographics ends up being what their values are. And then behaviors are how often are they going to buy. Because this presentation is condensed, I would recommend that you Google what those are so that you can figure out how that is aligned with your business and how you consider them and how you can reach more of them. How will your organization market to existing and new customers or clients? What is the unique selling proposition that you have? So how are you going to market to your clients? You're going to, let me shut off my email here and we won't be distracted by those pop-ups anymore. But how is your organization going to market and reach new and existing customers? Many business owners, once they have a customer, they think that they keep that customer for life. There's a book that I recommend that you read and purchase. It's called Secret Service, and it's by John R. DeJulius. He talks about in his salon, the industry average would retain 40 to 60% of customers that came through their doors. That means 40 to 60% never returned for a second visit. Doesn't that seem a little strange that you can't retain those customers? What happened? What happened? Where was the breakdown? So in the book, he explains what he noticed, that in a salon, there is an entrance and there is a desk and there are all of the salon chairs. There is an exit and there is a desk and you exit through the same door. Well, when people are coming in, you want to greet them and you want to treat them like they're the most important person in the world, but you don't want the people leaving to think that they're not the most important person in the world. So what he did is he created an entrance with the desk, with the check-in, with the services that they offered in their salons. And for a new customer, he gave them a certain color cape. That alerted all of the other stylists, cosmetologists, estheticians, everyone in that salon that this is a new potential opportunity for them to capitalize on. So they would go up and they would introduce themselves and invite them over to look at their station or learn more about the services that they offer. Then when they were done, they would go to another desk to exit. They would be asked to schedule their next appointment and they would leave through a separate door. He ended up increasing his retention of customers that he was marketing to by 10 to 20 to 40%. So he was up in the 70 to 80% retention. That book also talks about different strategies that you can partner with other businesses, restaurants, car dealerships, Airbnbs, resorts, and offer drawings so that people stay engaged and continue to look at what the specials are in the business. What is your unique selling proposition? I'm going to make a statement. Billy Graham said it, and he said, you don't want to be known as the best at what you do. You want to be known as the only one that does what you do. So what is that unique selling proposition that makes you unique from all of your other competitors? In marketing, if you continue to market the same way that all of your competitors market, all you're doing is trading market share. But if you are unique in your delivery, your service, and how you work with them throughout the entire process, that makes you different and that makes you sticky. People will come back to you. What is your competitive advantage? Why should a consumer pick you over the competition? This is carrying on by the unique selling proposition, but how have you differentiated yourself from the competition? Is it lighting? You look at gas stations around town. You may see 7-Elevens. You may see Come and Go, which came into the market a few years ago and now has 27 gas stations around the town and is one of the larger ones in Colorado Springs. You may see Southwest Airlines come into the airport, and day one, they had 13 daily flights. The next largest airline had 6. They were the largest airline out of the airport, Colorado Springs Airport, day one. That differentiated them from their competition. They also found different ways to go about the country and develop their routes. With the gas stations, Come and Go, it's very lit up at night. Other gas stations, they aren't as lit up. They aren't as friendly. They aren't as clean. So know your competition and how do you differentiate yourself from them to earn more business. Step 6, how will your organization sell to existing and new clients? Again, a business plan is all about being redundant, but it's asking you questions at different time frames, because when you're thinking about marketing and sales, you shouldn't necessarily completely be thinking about human resources at the same time. You have to focus your mind and your energy and answer the question in the segments of the business that you have. So if you have a pen and paper, I would write these 7 segments down. Finance, IT, legal, human resources, operations, marketing, and sales. And those 7 pillars of your business, again, when we ask you different things, take it to one of those pillars and answer the question in that mindset. That's the end of the marketing strategy, marketing and sales program template. Let's go into customer service. So a customer care program, what does that look like? Our organization has input customers, clients, patient members, whatever you call your customers. And step 1 is, what are the steps to the sales process within your organization? Create a chronological order from when a customer or client enters into the sales cycle and explain each step to the conclusion of the sales cycle. This does 2 things. The first thing that it does is it helps you train other people. Second, it helps you to become more consistent. Referrals are very hard to come by. People have to trust you. They have to know that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, and you're going to do it the same way that you provided service or sold the products to them. So an example sales cycle might be, I take an application. I request permission to pull their credit report. I read their credit report. I work up the loan. I follow up with the client, customer, and I propose it to them. That's 7 steps of my 17-step process. When I'm on the phone with them, the next step is get their buy-in and schedule an appointment. Schedule the appointment, sign the docs, go back to the office, process the loan, send out a letter thanking them for a time to allow you to come out and meet with them, ask for referrals. It's never too early to ask somebody if they know somebody else who can use the same products and services that you have. Are there opportunities to implement additional points of positive contact within your sales cycle? What opportunities present themselves? So I just had a phone call. I took an application. That was step 1. I pulled their credit report. That triggered step 2A. Send a letter out to them thanking them for considering you, asking them for referrals. There's opportunities everywhere within the sales process if you know what it is start to finish. Are your customers or clients raving fans? It's another great book. Raving Fans is by Ken Blanchard. Raving Fans is all about how can you make your customers not satisfied, but raving, and tell everyone about you, friends, families, colleagues, coworkers. If you can get and develop that in your sales process, what can you do to implement additional strategies to ensure their satisfaction. And what specifically can be done? That could be follow up after you make a sale. It could be thank them so much for coming in. We look forward to seeing you again. Ask them for feedback. Do you have a way to measure the current level of customer satisfaction? How and what could your organization add to measure it? You could do surveys. You could ask for Google reviews. You could ask for reviews on your website. You could ask them to like your social media pages. The more engagement that you can keep with those customers, the more top of mind you're going to be. And that is something that many businesses fall short on, meaning their customer service is less than par. Has your organization created a low-cost customer retention program? What could be done differently to retain existing and new customers? So it doesn't cost you as much to retain people that have already purchased from you. But I'm going to make another statement. There's Jerry O'Brien. He's a marketing consultant out of the Denver area. And he has this statement that had me perplexed the first time that I heard him say it. People do not buy anything anymore. They choose between options. So why would they choose you? Why would they choose to come back to you? People do not buy anything anymore. They choose between options. Think about the last thing that you wanted to purchase. You went to your phone, you went to your computer, you went to your wherever to do your research. You pull up one of the search engines and you type in reviews or tell me about this product. It's not always about price. It's about information and it's about engagement. And at the end of the day, your unique selling proposition, the way you communicate and deliver and package what it is that you sell, and their choice to choose you over everyone else that buys that same product or service. How does your organization inspire existing customers or clients to refer their friends, family, and acquaintances to your customers? What could be added to bolster referrals? I don't mean to keep beating a dead horse on the mortgage industry, but after every single mortgage loan closed, when I owned it, I would deliver a wicker basket full of chocolates and candies wrapped up in cellophane with 10 business cards dropped into that basket, and I would deliver it to their place of business. Keep in mind, I knew where they worked because it was on their mortgage application. So I would deliver it to their business. And it was something that they had to carry through the office, put on their desk. They couldn't hide it in their drawer. And people would ask, where did you get that? They would answer, from my business, my mortgage broker. And I would get referrals. The basket cost me $27.67. I sent out hundreds of them a year. It probably paid me 5 to 10 times the value that I invested. Step 7, how has your organization created specific systems and procedures, as well as developed a training program for your employees on how to follow the processes to create the wow service to your consumers or customers, clients? When and how will this be done? Know your sales process, know where you can implement additional information, and continue to wow your customers because none of your competitors are doing the same thing. Are the leaders within your organization leading by example by taking care of the internal customers, the employees? Many of us think of customers as those that purchase from us. We also have to think about the people that help us produce and manage and implement everything that we sell. So how are you taking care of your employees? Are you giving them bonuses? Do you have key performance indicators? Are you meeting with them on a regular basis, doing performance reviews, performance improvement plans, communicating effectively, even when you're not having those formal meetings, just being polite and smiling in the break room or as you pass by their desk or down the hall. So be sure to take care of your internal customers as well. How can you include everyone within the organization to take customer service seriously? It's not all about making more money, it's about retaining those that could potentially bring more revenue to you and your business. It's all in an effort to increase repeat sales and referrals to other potential buyers. If somebody has a bad experience, they're going to tell 10 people. If somebody has a great experience, they may tell 2 or 3. So what can you do to minimize the bad experiences, maximize the good experiences, and that comes through the customer care program and what we just covered. The next section is the financial and profitability planning template. This template, while it's terrifying to many of the clients that we work with, it is one of the most essential portions of your business that you need to understand more than you understand anything else in your business. There are 3 statements in your business that you should be reviewing on a monthly basis: your profit and loss statement, your balance sheet, and your cash flow statement. We have many classes here at the Pikes Peak SBDC and throughout the SBDC network on understanding your financials, understanding a good bookkeeping system. I recommend that you sign up for them. So let's get started with the financial and profitability planning template. Does your organization have an accounting system that is up to date? Is it time to upgrade your version of your software program? There's nothing wrong with running your financials through an Excel workbook or worksheet. But at the end of the day, you have to manipulate the data to find out how to get the numbers. If you have a balance sheet, cash flow statement, and profit and loss statement, you could go to one of these accounting systems. QuickBooks is one of the more recognized. There's another one called Xero, Xero, and you want to talk to your financial advisor or your accountant or bookkeeper and find out what they recommend and which system you can use. Are the appropriate people in touch with the financial situation within your organization? Is there a process to review them daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly? Monthly's fine, weekly's better, overkill to look at your financials every single day. I recommend monthly, and if you don't do that, you need to look at it at least quarterly, because that's when your 941s or your payroll taxes are due. And that's when you have to put or send the estimated taxes that you need to pay at the end of the year. So it's encouraged that you look and understand all of these. How often do you meet with your financial advisors, accountants, and insurance agents? Insurance agents, I would recommend that you reach out after this presentation, give them a call, and have them review your policies. I would recommend that you find a couple of different people to review that policy. Make sure that you're covered and that you're covered for the things that you think you are. One of the things that we see all the time is that your business may be classified differently than what you actually do. If that's the case, that insurance is not going to pay out. So the premiums you've paid have gone to not necessarily protect you. They've just gone and you can't retain those. So make sure you're insured appropriately. Your accountants, start with a bookkeeper. Reach out to your CPA. There's 3 different tiers of the accounting profession. Bookkeepers, they're going to understand how to help you manage your books. There are good, there are bad, just like every industry. Accountants, they're above bookkeepers. They may file taxes, they may do a little bit more. And then you have the CPAs, the certified public accountants. The price range goes up each tier that you go up. So why would you want to start at the top and pay the most when you can minimize your cost in the beginning so that you can pay less for the premium tier? And then financial advisors. Make sure that your financial statements, the margins, the profit that's coming from your business, that you break it down into percentages so that you know how much you're getting paid, how much is retained in the business, what your cost of goods sold are, and how much you're going to set aside for retirement. All of that can be built in to your strategy. Does your organization have your policies on the financial management systems in writing, including but not limited to yearly capital expenditures, budget, credit, collection, invoice payment policies, and other policies that are pertinent to your business model? When will these systems be in writing and created as policy? We've all heard about the awful stories of embezzlement. There's nothing worse than being stolen from. The only thing worse is if you didn't have a handle on your financials and you trusted that to somebody else without overseeing them. This is your business. It's your products and services. It's your inventory, and it's the profit and the revenue that is going to help you stay in business for many years to come. Create a policy. If someone has access to a bank account and that's not you, or if you don't have a co-signatory on your account, make sure that you have that, but make sure you have it in writing and that those that have access to it understand it. And what are the goals for your organization for the gross and net profits? Gross profits is the total amount of money that comes into your business. Net profits are everything that is left over after you've paid all of the expenses. What opportunities are available for the appropriate personnel to be current with bookkeeping and financial knowledge? Well, we're here at the SBDC network to help you, and there are workshops for you, and there are consultants available that you can set up a time to meet with. Be sure that you bring whatever financial system you have in place and let them go through it. The numbers do not lie, and financial experts can look at your business through the numbers and know whether or not you are profitable, not profitable, or where the opportunities are for growth are. Step 6, is your organization maximizing the benefits for employees, including management and owners, for personal gain through the business? This could include cafeteria plans, which essentially are health insurance plans for larger organizations, health reimbursement accounts, 401ks, IRAs, etc. And what could be done differently to lower payroll taxes, personal taxes, and business liabilities? There are so many strategies out there that if you find the strategic partner that works best with you, you're going to be able to save some money and do it ethically. That's it for the financial planning template. Let's go into human resources. Human resources, what managers think employees want and what employees really want. Kenneth Kovach did a study back in the 60s or 70s, and he researched thousands of employees. He researched thousands of employers. Managers. So good pay. Managers think that the first thing that people want to do or that they need to do is pay top dollar. That's what managers think. Employees, that's number 5 on the list. Job security is what managers think employees want. That's 4th on the list for the employees. Promotion and growth. Managers think that the employees just want to move up in the organization and continue growing. That was 6th on the list. Good working condition was 4. That was 7th on the list. Interesting work. Look at this. Employees want interesting work. If you can't keep them engaged in what they're doing, doesn't matter what you pay them, they're going to be out the door. Number 2 for employees is full appreciation of work done. If they have interesting work and the managers are giving them verbal feedback and positive feedback, that's what employees want. Employees want a feeling of being in on things. So once you create this strategic plan, I would share it with them because they have interesting work, you appreciate what they do, they want to be in on things, They want their job to be secure, and then they want to be paid well. This is something to consider as you're hearing people say, I want more money. That's just a mask for them saying, I'm not getting what I want out of this position. So human resources. Excuse me. What is the cost of hiring and training a new employee within your organization? It typically, I've seen numbers all over the place, but it's going to cost you 1.5 times to hire a new employee than it is to retain an existing employee. So all the more reason to understand Kenneth Kovach's research. Does your organization have an appropriate human resources plan in place, including policies and procedures manuals, training manuals? Have they been updated? Do you have an organizational chart? I heard from another client last week that while she was the boss, she thought somebody else was the boss. And more so, when she started with the business, she thought that her boss was the overall head honcho. Wasn't the case. He reported to somebody else. That's a different of leadership style. You have your strong leaders and you have your servant leaders. So another opportunity for you to look into. Are there updated and written job descriptions and productivity guidelines for each position within your company? Has your organization developed and posted an organizational chart? What would this chart look like in your organization? Org charts can be very interesting. It could be, I'm just a sole proprietor in my business, so I am the president and CEO. But who is my financial strategic partner, my IT, my legal, my HR, operations, marketing, and sales? Your name could not only be the president, but it could be head of marketing, could be head of sales, could be head of operations. But is it the head of financial? Financial is going to include your banks, your insurance agents, your financial advisors, anyone that has to do with money. When was the last time that your company reviewed the benefit plan? Meaning pay, bonuses, goals for you meet this objective, you're going to get a spiff. Is it competitive in line with what your company can afford? What improvement can be made, and how does it compare and correlate with the financial and profitability plan that we just went through? Is your organization giving the employees the training and development that they need and want to achieve their goals? Have you asked your employees what their goals are? So many people overlook that, but if you're not interested in helping them get where they want to go, they may just start looking and go. I used to have a quote on the wall in my office, and it said, most managers fear training their employees so well, they fear they will leave. My biggest fear as a manager is to not train my employees and have them stay. So finding out what they want and helping them get there and offering them the training and development that they need or want can do wonders in employee retention and business growth. While it has been proven to retain employees, increase awareness, and reduce the number of sick days taken, is your organization interested in creating a plan that promotes and improves the health and happiness of your employees? You could do something simple as, if you have a gym membership, I will reimburse you up to X number of dollars per month. That's something that they're not going to get when they go hire somewhere else. They may get benefits somewhere else, but they don't get that. Personal development plan. Taking care of yourself, think about when you started your company. You started your company because you wanted more time, you wanted to make more money, you wanted to be in control of your schedule and have the flexibility, and you had no idea that it was going to take you more time, you're going to make less, and you're not going to have the flexibility that you thought you would have. So the personal development plan is your mental development. How can you develop your mind? What activities could you begin or continue doing? Physical development. How can you develop your body, and what activities could you begin or continue doing? Social development. How can you develop yourself socially, and what activities could you begin or continue doing? So, mental development could be yoga. It could be reading or having a goal to take one of these courses every month, or engaging in reading those books that I recommended. Physical development. What activities are you doing outside of work? Are you walking, especially walking your dog? Are you running? Are you playing softball, volleyball, soccer, basketball, football? What are you doing working out? Social development. How can you develop yourselves socially? One of the best marketing tactics for small business owners is to increase your sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence is all about how can you be introduced to other people who are like-minded, forward-thinking, have the same goals, and develop meaningful relationships so that they begin to refer business to you. Your name starts coming up on the list. So that could be your chambers. That could be business events such as State of the City or State of the whatever community you're in. Could be involved with economic development, serving on boards in something that you're passionate with. How can you increase the number of people that you surround yourself so that you can increase those opportunities for referrals? Financial development. How can you improve your finances? And what activities could you begin or continue doing? Family development. So many times there's so much stress in the business that we bring it home. So how can you spend more quality time with your family? And what activities could you become or continue doing? In spiritual development, how can you develop your mind, body, and spirit? What activities could you begin or continue doing? You see, the stress of owning a business, you all know and you can relate to. But if we don't take the time to think about these questions on what we can do differently, we're just going to be in the same place next year, year after that, probably in a lifelong cycle of when is it going to work or when is it not going to work. The last section is section 7, the simplified ethical standards development template. Developing a sound formal code of ethics, a workbook exercise. Is it appropriate for your organization to develop a code of ethics? Remember the first thing that we started with in this presentation was, what are your values? Make sure that your ethics and the ethics of those that you surround yourself with align with the values that you shared up front. Is it for your employees, customers, vendors, or everyone that does business with you? See, I don't want to do business with those that lie, cheat, and steal. I want to do business with people that run a good, solid business and care for the customers, clients, patients, and members just as much as I do. What is the importance of addressing and developing your code of ethics? What is important to address when developing your code of ethics? And why? Why is it important to address that? In the financial services industry, it was very important because if they did something wrong, it not only came back on them, but it came back on me as the broker owner. Step 3, after reflecting on the previous questions, start developing your code of ethics within this section. You may then test them against the 11 steps discussed previously and paraphrased from the text ethics in human communication. You can look that up in Johansson, 2002, pages 180 to 182. And all you have to do is Google ethics in human communication with that parentheses and it should come up. So this whole presentation I've pulled from a wealth of different knowledge. But let me show you something about that wealth of knowledge. PikesPeakLibraryDistrict.org. They have databases that are available for you and everyone in the community. All of these databases, they spend over $893,000 a year so that you have access to it for free. If I'm looking for an industry and I can just pull out, let's say, the mortgage industry, I would go to Data Axle, it's formerly known as Reference USA. You have business databases under US businesses. You have consumer databases under the standard white pages, and you have lifestyles that you can look up to try to find who your best customer, client, patient member is. So for purposes of this, I'm just going to go to an advanced search. You could do a quick search, but the advanced search, serving on a chamber board of director, I want to find the radius around the zip code that is their post office. And I want to find a 5-mile radius. There are an estimated 1,547 businesses within a 5-mile radius of 80132. I could view all of those results, and I could click on a business, a random business, and I could say, let's look at Dish Network. Located in Monument, Colorado. I now have their address, their phone number, if they have any job listings, their industry profile or various industry codes. So you could pick these out. So 335702. Well, 335702. And I'll use that here in a second. You can find out the estimated number of employees that work there, the estimated sales volume that comes in to that organization, whether it's a branch or a public company. This is currently a branch. They accept American Express, Discover, MasterCard, Visa. This was last updated May of 2020. Been in the database for 7 years. Their office hours, estimated business expenditures, sales volume by year. And if I have a business appointment with this particular company, I can look at nearby businesses so that I can plan and reach out and try to schedule my day so that I'm not driving 20 miles to meet for 1 hour and then driving another 20 miles. So barbershop and salon, not so much. The bookstore, not so much. Medical doctor, maybe. Monument Dental, maybe. The pharmacy, maybe. These are other opportunities, and you can just click through and find more information about those businesses. So while this isn't involved in the ethical standards, this is involved in the marketing and sales, but it should be put together in your entire business. So that SIC code that I pointed out, I could go back to the database and revise my search. And I can put the SIC code in. There are currently 15,944,474 businesses in there in this database. You search for the database, cable manufacturers, update the count. Nationwide, there are 2,462. All of this data, there is another presentation that you can go to get that data. So while we went through a very simplified business plan in an hour, this is what a sample business plan outline looks like. You're going to have an executive summary with all of those sections, company background with all of those sections, industry overview, SWOT analysis, target market, competition, operations, management summary, your financials, a summary of everything that you put in there, and an appendix of anything else that you want to include. I'm going to turn it over to the Pikes Peak SBDC, and what I want them to do is tell you how wonderful the resources are that you have available by living here, working here, and playing in the Pikes Peak region. Thank you so much for taking your time to sit through this presentation.
Thank you, Mark, for today's presentation, and thank you all for viewing this on-demand recording today. If you are new to our area and to the Pikes Peak Small Business Development Center, please do visit our website at pikespeaksbdc.org. The SBDC offers free consulting, practical training, and business resources for the life of your business. The Pikes Peak SBDC was awarded the Region 8 SBA Innovation and Excellence Award for 2020, placing our office top 10 in the nation. We like to thank our local corporate sponsors, El Paso County, Ent Business Banking, City of Colorado Springs, Park State Bank and Trust, Vectra Bank, Colorado Springs Utilities, and the Small Business Administration. Thank you all for attending today and have a great day. Bye-bye.